Namaskar sabko. A very warm hello to everybody. I'm Dr. Bijal Mehta, an academician by profession, a researcher by passion, and a writer at heart. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I totally believe in and something that I have experienced all through my journey so far. What I truly believe is that your passion never leaves you. It comes back to you. All you need to do is, while you go with the flow of life, listen to your inner voice all the time. अगर खुद से खुद तक पहुंचना है तो खुद की आवाज़ सुनो. Since childhood, it had been my dream to be a journalist, a childhood fantasy of sorts. I would write short stories, poems, narratives. I would pick up songs and create extra stanzas for those songs and share them with my friends. My first assignment, back then in those days where I used to live in the Southeast, was to write for an article for a magazine called Golf Vacations. This was back in the year 2000. After several assignments of this kind, this was my lesson number one. That your inner self knows what it wants to do. Your inner self gravitates towards opportunities that are your calling, and you have to stick to them. Life took over and I moved to India. Here, my first assignment was as a knowledge manager with a consulting firm. Here too, I wrote best practice manuals for all the various offices across the country. Words again. I eventually moved on in my career to work with a financial services firm as a trainer. What do trainers normally do? They train. But I was given the assignment, in addition to the training, was to develop soft skill manuals, soft skill presentations, stories about people and how they did in their jobs at that time. Again, words. My mentor then, my manager at that time, he said, practice this, practice writing. You are really good at it. This was my lesson number 2. To polish your craft, always keep practicing what you are doing. It could be anything. You could be a salesperson. You could be a writer. You could be somebody who reads. You could be somebody who is a meditation practitioner. You could just be a homemaker. You could be a chef. It could be anything. But whatever you are doing, practice your craft, and gradually you get better at it. I moved on to join an academic institution as a research associate, because that's where, again, words called me, knowingly or unknowingly. By the way, this was during the days when Google was not what it is today, and ChatGPT, I believe, did not even exist in imagination. So my work used to be to run from library, going through books, journals, articles. My first academic publication at that time was to do a review of 22 years of sales promotion papers. And this, like I said, was not through any computer entirely. It was through a stack of hard copies. This was my next lesson. Resilience, working hard, continuing to do what you are doing. Eventually, I moved on to become a full-time lecturer with a local university. Young students, young minds. This was also the time when I understood the importance of contributing to knowledge. I was quite young then. All my students were either my age or elder to me. My next lesson came at that time. It was not easy working with people who are elder to you, being their professor. But I had to tell myself, you are not your age. You are the role that you play. And the day I did this, it became a little more easier. There came many lessons during this time as well. One thing which I learned at that time, because we had students from mixed languages, not all were as proficient in English as they were expected to be. My understanding, my knowledge, and my speaking proficiency of Gujarati came in very handy at that time. And this was my next lesson. Always respect your roots, respect where you come from, and practice your language. Despite the fact that we were living in a foreign country, my parents, especially my mother, she made sure that at home, you have to speak in Gujarati. Ghare Gujarati માં જ બોલવાનું. English નહીં ચાલે, બીજી કોઈ ભાષા નહીં ચાલે. And I think when I entered my workspace as an academic, this really helped. Students who were uncomfortable, lacked confidence to speak in English, came to me and I would help them. So this was a lesson that I learned without realizing that I had learnt it during my childhood. Stick to your roots. Respect where you come from. This was also the time when I started writing, back in those days when I was in college myself, in an English medium in a foreign land. I started writing in Gujarati as well. Short stories, poetry. I would listen to Gujarati songs. And then that is where I realized that there is something called as creative writing. Now I think all of us listening here, many of us would know that academic writing and creative writing are two different things. Right? Academic writing is where you do research, you write journal articles, you go into the market, talk to people, understand scenarios. Creative writing is what leaves a lot to the imagination. Somebody said to me, you can't do both, and I believed them. And that's where obviously my creative writing took a back seat, and I got very aggressively into my academic writing. I did very well. Wrote several research papers, articles, monographs, etc. But there was always a hollow. Somewhere I kept going back to the thought of my creative works. I think the lesson that I learned during that time was because I kept looking for validation, I waited for too long, so I couldn't do it. This was somebody told me once, you have to wait till you are experienced enough to write what you know about. But then I looked around and I said, everybody is writing. Young, old, everyone is writing, whatever they want to write. So where is the problem? And that's where I realized that maybe I should stop looking for validation. Maybe I should stop waiting for perfection. And the day I did that, I felt free. The day I stopped looking for validation, I began to find newer opportunities, newer ways of doing things. When did this happen? This happened when one of the senior professors, like I said to me, wait till you get some experience. And I held back. After some time, another lesson came along the way. This was at a time when I got the opportunity to listen to a renowned professor who is also a film script writer, a novelist, and a leading voice in the world of marketing. That 1 hour which I got to listen to him made me realize my next lesson, which was you could do anything you put your mind to and your heart to. You could be both. And after 30 years of having penned my first poem, I decided to come out with my published book of poetry. Doubts were there then too. Am I too old for this? Children as young as 12, 13 are writing poetry. And then this is the age of technology. Everything is so fast. But then technology is also the time which is available for everybody, whether young, middle, old, anybody. And that's where I realized that age is no bar for doing anything that you want to. And you could be anything that you wish to. Typically, we always see that the biological clock, the social clock, and the professional clock, they tick at the same time. And life always comes in the way. But the fact of the matter is, one should not think that life is coming in the way. If people are asking you to do something, it's because you are good at it. So feel happy about it, that they are asking you to do things. But at the same time, the lesson I learned was, you can't do it all. You have to learn to say no, whether it is professionally, whether it is personally. And as a woman, I think that's the greatest lesson I have learned. The day I learned to say no, I could make time for things that I really wanted to do. And today, when I see people, when I have academic experts, professors, researchers coming to me, or when I network with them for my academic writing, and when I have creative readers, my students, come to me and appreciate me for my creative writing, I realize that yes, it's possible to do it all. I would like to end my talk with a poem. And before that, I would like to say that the moment you start believing in yourself as much as your loved ones believe in you, anything is possible. I would like to end with a poem that I penned a long time ago, but I often go back to. The poem is called Explore the Horizon. So here it is. Have you ever wondered what lies away and far? Have you ever looked behind that door that looks a little bit ajar? Have you ever been to the place where the earth and sky meet? Have you ever tried to learn the lesson that it might teach? Someday, when you are sitting in a big and open field, take your eyes to that edge and put your imagination on the wheel. What if you happen to reach that certain point, that special place where the earth and sky join? Try and treat that place as a brand new opportunity and take that long but difficult path as a road to victory. And if you ever feel lost or sad and blue, take your eyes to where the earth and sky become one from two. Hold on to your dreams, and your dreams will hold on to you. Take every chance of life as the time to do something new. Don't ever be afraid of failure in a new situation. Remember, you will know what lies ahead only if you explore the horizon. Thank you.